Yesterday, Ethan and Hila KLein dedicated their entire H3 podcast episode to saying that they had CPS, Child Protective Services, called on them for a checkup. Now, there is no reason to believe this. They have provided zero evidence. They are liars. They are just chronic liars. There's zero reason to take their word for this. That's the most important thing that you should remember. Until they have provided any proof this actually happened, you should not believe that it happened. They are desperate to self-victimize. They are desperate to frame themselves as like victims of some mass harassment campaign. Ethan literally threatened to kill himself on the podcast yesterday and said that he's going to go and protest outside of Reddit HQ. So there's no reason to believe this shit. However, it may have happened, and if it did, it was totally warranted for reasons that we are going to get into in a second. There are clear holes in their story. Like Ethan, for example, claims in the podcast episode.
He had one anonymous call. I was like, that's all it takes. But I guess the thing is, he was like, we thought it was someone who...
I can't imagine how scary.
The guy was very nice. He was a very professional, very nice...
He says the CPS guy told him that we think it's someone who you know. And he said this elsewhere as well.
Somebody, he said, like when he first showed up, he's like, it's somebody that you know who made the report. And I'm like, no, okay. So
obviously a CPS officer is not just going to immediately tell you right off the bat, but something that potentially identifies the person who made the report. That's bullshit. So Ethan KLein said hilariously, this is on his own subreddit, that he's going to file charges against this person for filing this report. Here, I'm filing a police report about the fraudulent CPS call. So to be clear, there's no way that any law was broken here. It's not illegal to call CPS if you have some sort of valid concern, obviously, for doing so, even if you ended up being wrong. It's not illegal. If it was, then no one would fucking call them, so they can't make it illegal, obviously. He's treating this as if, like, someone filed, like, an erroneous tip to the FBI that he was about to commit a school shooting. It's bullshit. Bull fucking shit. No. And I have to reiterate, it's unlikely that this even happened, but if it did, it was totally warranted, because if you look at what he himself has said on the stream, there's no fucking way that if you showed that to someone at CPS, they would not be concerned enough for a visit. I'll show you, don't worry. There was plenty of reasonable suspicion here. So on this H3H3 episode, streamed 2 weeks ago, Ethan just straight up said this on the stream.
Oh. So that's only one part of it. The next part is...
What's the next?
That Olive has Giardia, which is a bacterial infection in the intestines that makes you have diarrhea.
And Olive has this?
Olive has this, yeah. She came to us with it.
Oh.
Okay.
To be clear here, the only way that you can get Giardia is through some sort of contact with shit. It's poop only. Giardia germs are in poop of people or animals who are infected, so anything that gets contaminated by human or animal poop can potentially spread the germs. This means that his dog, which he acknowledges here had Giardia, a parasite, I will emphasize, that was previously unknown to science until this escapade with Ethan KLein 2 weeks ago. The only possible way for this to be spread from his dog to himself and his family is through contact with contaminated dog shit. And he just openly talked about this sort of thing that the CIA could not extract me if it were me on the stream.
Had diarrhea and...
Oh, poor baby.
Ducky came to us with that too. And I just wonder why...
Relatively common.
It should be, they should have found it already. But anyway, so she has Giardia, so we have her on an antibiotic, but we had to wait until Monday, which is today. We just got it today. And, well, Sonny's crawling around. He's putting everything in his mouth. He's at that age. He has Giardia.
Oh, shit.
Oh,
and now Hila has Giardia.
Shut. For real?
And now I think this morning I had diarrhea.
Oh my God.
This is someone admitting on stream that their kid was crawling around and eating dog shit and they contracted a previously unknown parasite from the dog shit. If you showed this to CPS, they would want to fucking visit this family. This is completely like a 100% warranted reasoning for wanting to visit the family. So he's trying to frame this like it was swatting. No, you try to fucking charge someone for reporting you for this? You can't do that. All they need to do is show them this fucking clip and that's already enough. Like, the implication of this clip is that your children are just wallowing in shit and contracting parasites from dog shit.
What can I do to not get it from
Yeah,
you?
I'm trying
Because I'm not trying to get
Can I
that.
crank the AC maybe?
Is it?
It's extremely ridiculous to get. You have to ingest my poop.
He literally acknowledges there you have to eat shit to get it. So him, Hila, and the child all ate poop. He says it right there himself on the stream.
Are you planning on that?
Never.
Not really.
So then you're fine.
But unfortunately,
So the problem is-
you just told us that your poop is flowing out of your mouth. It's like
Yeah,
in the
literally.
air, bro.
So there's that clip, and don't worry, because there is more. Like, it's so pervasive in his house that he just steps in it randomly. Never mind, I'm not logged in. I'm not allowed to look at Twitter. So I'll play the audio of this clip. I won't show it. But you'll listen to Ethan. This is like a clip from like a year ago-ish. And it's Ethan Klein talking about how he just sits down at his desk to stream, and he immediately steps in dog shit that was just lying there for like all dog shit as well.
Is this shit?
You heard him say, "Is this shit?" And like, I'll narrate the clip. Like, he's looking down at his feet. Like, did I just step in shit?
Huge jump up in production quality, then it'll make sense.
The carpet from one of the dogs. It's like a super it's like a super, how do you call it? Fibery,
Petrified.
super fluffy with like strings, you know?
Yeah.
And obviously we clean our carpet, but I can't even see it with my naked eye. I was just passing my foot over it and felt a bump. It's old, by the way. It's hard.
Gross.
So Ethan Klein's house has so much shit all over it that he sits down at the desk that he streams from, and he just steps in old dog shit that's been there for who knows how long. So from those clips, we can surmise that Ethan Klein had a dog with a parasite that is only transmitted from contact with shit. Ethan Klein said that his child was crawling around and she's like eating everything and shit, and she contracted this parasite, and then his wife got the parasite, and now he has the parasite. If you were a fucking CPS officer, would you not want to investigate that situation if it was brought to your attention? Is it not totally legitimate to investigate that situation? The answer to both questions is obviously yes, it's fine. Who wouldn't? Just because you're rich doesn't mean that you're exempt from this sort of thing. And like the level of oversharing here is ridiculous, by the way. It's fucking crazy for him to frame himself now as like a victim of swatting or something, as if this is not an entirely warranted visit, given what he had openly said on his podcast for weeks. I am glad that CPS checked on Ethan Klein, given all of this. And there's like a clear line that you can see here, because if you don't know, a couple of weeks ago, or like I think it was like a month ago now, Ethan Klein's housekeeper quit because for a number of other reasons. They allegedly refused to give her leave because she wanted to get a hernia operation. So presumably this happened during a time where Ethan Klein did not have a servant cleaning up after him, including the dog shit that he leaves everywhere. And this, after that, seems to have led to his child contracting a previously unknown parasite from consuming dog feces. So in such a situation, is a call to CPS unwarranted? No. Is a call to CPS warranted? Yes. Was a crime committed by calling CPS? Obviously fucking not. Any normal person seeing this is totally warranted and totally justified in calling Child Protective Services to report what they heard. In this case, you don't even need an anonymous tip. You don't even need a tip from someone who is close to them. You just show them the video. That's all. The guy saying it himself, the father himself saying it, is way more concrete evidence than a third party saying it could ever be. And now Ethan Klein has announced that he is going to protest outside Reddit HQ like fucking Laura Loomer or something. This is on his subreddit. These people, like, I guess they're going to go and protest with him. I am working on getting permits to protest outside Reddit HQ. This is after he said, by the way, on his podcast, in the latest podcast episode, he said that like he's been trying to pressure his lawyers into trying to sue Reddit, but his lawyers can't do anything. Obviously they can't. He says during this, like, my fucking lawyers can't do shit. Like, rich guy is learning that he can't just throw money to silence everyone. He really doesn't like it.
Twitter.
I don't think anything.
That won't work.
There's
No.
the answer
like
is
to-
not on social media. It's with lawyers and reporters.
My lawyer can't do fucking shit, and it's driving me crazy.
I don't know what to tell you.
They go, oh, 2:30, you can't do anything. Really? I can't believe that a website just allows this level of harassment, and it's just like, oh, 2:30, you can't.
Ethan Klein thinks that harassment is people talking about his fucking public appearances as a public figure, and he thinks that he should be able to sue Reddit for being a place where people do that. It's unbelievable. And his evidence of this harassment is this totally warranted CPS visit that, to be clear, again, there is no evidence that it ever actually happened. And there's certainly no evidence that it ever actually happened in the way that Ethan and Hila frame it. Obviously, their narrative of what happened is not going to be the full truth. What I would wager actually happened here is they took the kid to the doctor because he had giardia. The doctor was probably, more than likely, worried about the fact that this kid, this rich kid no less, has a parasite that is technically sort of common, but that's certainly human infection in rich babies is not common, and likely reported this, and it got to CPS somehow, or probably went directly to CPS. Probably a standard procedure for a doctor who's actually following the rules. That is the most likely thing here. But either way, regardless of how it was reported, the evidence, which is Ethan outright saying on stream that this had happened, to warrant a check on children who Ethan Klein himself acknowledged had contracted parasites that you can only contract from fecal ingestion. CPS checking on those kids as a result of that is entirely warranted. No one should apologize for this. No one should treat this like it's some sort of grave thing that should not have been done. In the first place, it's fucking weird, the level of oversharing that these guys do. Like, the way that their personal lives are totally integrated and just inseparable from that internet shit is fucking wild and weird, and don't be like them. But obviously, if you're going to bring that sort of thing up on your fucking podcast, it's like saying, oh yeah, yesterday I murdered a guy, ha ha ha. And then acting like you're getting swatted when the cops show up. What the fuck did you expect? This is a previously unknown parasite. Scientists had never heard of this until Ethan Klein's children contracted it. These people are so impossibly rich, yet apparently their house is still covered in dog shit. Oh god, I'm in big fucking trouble. I thought I was safe in Argentina, but I just actually received a legal notice. On or around February 27th, 2025, Mr. Sinopoulos published a story on his Instagram account, Bad Empanada, which read, Ethan Klein's children have contracted parasites previously unknown to science from dog shit he leaves around everywhere. This statement is defamatory, as the parasite in question, giardia, which plaintiff does acknowledge that he stated during a previous broadcast of the H3 podcast had been contracted by his children and his wife, is not previously unknown to science, as it is in fact considered to be one of the most well-known and commonly contracted parasites in the world. Plaintiff therefore demands that Sinopoulos publish a full retraction and apology on all of his social media platforms, including but not limited to the Bad Empanada Instagram, the Bad Empanada YouTube, and the Bad Empanada Live YouTube, clarifying the fact that the giardia parasite is not previously unknown to science, and acknowledging that scientists did not visit the Klein residence and discover numerous new diseases and entire microscopic bacterial empires all over the place, as he claimed in a follow-up story on the Bad Empanada Instagram account on or around February 28, 2025. If no such retraction and apology is published within 25 days, plaintiff will pursue all available legal means to defend his reputation. Shit. Oh no. I thought I was safe in Argentina. Hold on, I gotta talk to my lawyers. Hello everyone. Following consultation with my lawyers at Richard & Johnson Legal, I would like to offer a formal apology to Ethan Hila KLein for my previously false claims. I incorrectly claimed on the 27th of February 2025 that the children of Ethan Hila KLein, along with Ethan Hila themselves, had contracted a previously unknown parasite from dog feces. This was incorrect. They actually contracted the well-known parasite giardia from dog feces. I also erroneously claimed that scientists had visited their house and discovered numerous new diseases and entire microscopic bacterial empires all over the place. I would like to specifically note that scientists did not in fact visit the Klein residence, and as far as I am aware, they did not in fact discover numerous new diseases nor microscopic bacterial empires all over the place, nor anything that could reasonably be considered an empire. Though it is possible that in the future, scientists may visit the Klein residence and discover such bacterial empires, but I cannot say for certain that such a thing has occurred up until this moment. I sincerely apologize to Ethan and Hila KLein and the H3 podcast, and I offer a full retraction of my previous erroneous claims. I hope that this apology and retraction satisfies them, and they do not pursue all available legal means against me to defend their reputation. Thank you.